Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another used car build. Today we're doing a 1981 Porsche 911 Turbo, the 930. This is the iconic Porsche. This is what you think. This is what you see in your head when someone says Porsche 911. It's this car. So the term "handles like a Porsche," I think, was created from this car. This thing, if handled carefully, is surgical. I mean, you could outmaneuver pretty much anything on the track with this car. It is a brilliant little car. We didn't do any suspension work on this thing. We didn't do no transmission work on this thing except for a clutch. We kind of let the car do what the car does, because every time I tune to Porsche, I find it gets a little tail happy. You know, she likes to slide out a bit. So this time, look at that. Look at that. Just whips right around that guy. So, as you can see, it will break loose. I mean, very easily if you're not careful. But if you get used to the little quirks of this car and the way it handles, you got to keep in mind all your weight is back here. All your weight is back here in the rear, because your engine is actually behind your rear axle. It's like back here. You know what I mean? It's way in the back. So keep that in mind when approaching these corners, and also a limited slip differential does really help. I can't stress it enough on how useful a limited slip differential is, especially on cars with quirky handling like this. It just keeps you on the track, man. It's a great tool. But anyway, so this car is one of the first models that Porsche started doing forced induction on for, like daily use, like normal manufactured cars. Beforehand, they only used the turbos in in the race cars, race spec cars. But then they're just like, well, hey, we'll just put them in our standard road car and see how that works out. Well, you see how it works out. It's pretty effective. You gotta love that whale tail spoiler too. It's pretty epic. But yeah, honestly, if handled properly, this car is an absolute dream to drive. It is quick enough in stock trim that you don't need to do much to it to get, to grab that first place. And like I said, it will break loose a little bit if you're not careful. But if you're careful, you downshift, proper braking on a straight, dude, this thing will just eat up the corners. It eats them up and it just, boom, gone. Like, you don't even see anyone behind me. Like, gone. Everything's gone. So let's go ahead and pop out of here, and we'll show what little we did to the car and look up a brief history on it. Personally, that's my favorite part of this game, other than, building the cars, is the history, learning the history on them, where they come from, why they were built, so on and so forth. It's just interesting to me. Might not be to some people. Might be kind of geekish or nerdish, but I dig it. So right now we're sitting at 598 performance points. Our power is bumped up to 361 horsepower. Weighs in at 2,800 pounds. Its front rear weight balance is 40/60. So like I said, that rear is a little heavy, but it's not bad. It's not bad. 40/60 I can deal with. You can keep it under control. So sport tires, standard suspension. We do got the one-way limited slip differential. We did put a sport computer management system in it. Standard transmission. Put an intercooler to squeeze out some more power out of that turbo that comes stock with. Sports air filter, summer racing exhaust, sport brakes and pads. We put a brake balance controller, though I didn't have to set anything. I did the run without putting any settings on, and it works just fine. So no, don't need a brake balance controller, don't need a weight ballast. We got a semi-racing clutch and flywheel setup. We did balance the engine. Engine balancing and tuning, I think, is pretty important if you're going to race a car. And we increased the body rigidity to reduce that body roll. So yeah, that's the Porsche. Let's go ahead and take a brief look through it. First time the word turbo appeared on a Porsche product was 1975 with the birth of the 911 Turbo. The car became the company's halo model as it possessed much of the technology gained from participation in motorsports. Cars' bulging front and rear fenders were indeed reminiscent of a race machine, as was its large rear wing. Sitting right under that wing was Porsche's tried and tested 3.0-liter air-cooled flat six, equipped with a KKK turbocharger. We're not even going to go into details of that. The engine produced 256 horsepower, which allowed the lightweight 911 reach top speed 155 miles an hour. Incredible feat for a production car of its day. From 1977, the engine's displacement was increased to 3.3 liters, while an air-cooled intercooler was added to raise power to 295 horses. This version of the Porsche 911 Turbo was produced up to 1989. It is often referred to as the 930 Turbo. The name comes from the internal code name of the car 930, and also because the folks at Porsche themselves referred to it as the 930 Turbo at the Paris Motor Show, where the car was displayed a year before going on sale. So, there is the brief little history of the 930 or the 911 Turbo as most people know it. The interior, very cool, very simple, reminiscent of the 80s. Very large, analog gauges. Got a cassette deck, can't go wrong there. That's pretty rad. But other than that, very simplistic design of the interior. Very effective use of the body. Like, Porsche hasn't changed. Even today, you can still see remnants of this style in their newer cars. Like, they have stayed very true to this platform and this design because, the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, like, kind of sums up Porsche. Fuck, stick with what works, man. I particularly like the 81 version. I really like because you could see where they're squeezing a little bit of 80s in there, but they still kept it their 70s style. Like, you can't go wrong with this style of a car. You just can't go wrong with it. It's a great little car, and shit, if I'm ever fortunate enough to drive one, man, I'm pretty sure I'll be getting out of that driver's seat with a big old smile on my face. But tell me what you all think of the Porsches. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you like the new ones better? Do you like the old ones better? Are you a RWB fan? Do you like that style of Porsche? Tell me what y'all think. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate all the views you guys give me. And I'll see you guys on the next one. And hopefully we will get that Chevelle soon. Come on.